See, Marun, they're all inside the Chief Minister's residence. What sort of calculations do you believe the government, the BJP, has kept in mind as they, of course, compose this new Yogi 2.0 cabinet?
Pauline, in 2017, the BJP had a much better verdict and it had to carry out a very delicate balancing act. And that is why Yogi Adityanath, then considered caste neutral because he was an ascetic, was brought in. But the BJP had to balance the equations with Keshav Maurya as the OBC face and Dr. Dinesh Sharma as a Brahmin face. The Council of Ministers had 28 odd men from the upper caste. And though there were a large number of OBC and Dalit leaders who were brought into the council, but predominantly most of them were given minister of state tasks. But I think the big news right now, which we can inform our viewers, is that it's confirmed now that A.K. Sharma is going to be a part of the Council of Ministers. Sources have told us that he got the call and he is likely to be brought in. It's not 100% confirmed, but there is a very strong buzz. Two sources have confirmed to me that he could be brought in as Deputy Chief Minister to Yogi Adityanath. Now, what does that mean? That one, sources are saying Keshav Maurya is still in. That could well mean that Dr. Dinesh Sharma could well make way for Dr. A.K. Sharma. Now, A.K. Sharma's inclusion, if he gets the Deputy Chief Minister post, is a very critical inclusion because he is not known to be a UPite. He is not known to be an old-time BJP worker in Uttar Pradesh. He took premature. He was an IS officer, 1988, Gujarat cadre, worked with Prime Minister Modi in Gujarat for 20-odd years. He was brought into the PMO in 2014, and then he took premature retirement and joined the BJP and is right now the BJP Vice President of the UP State Unit. His role could well be as being the Prime Minister's point person in the Council of Ministers with Yogi Adityanath, and that definitely lends a very interesting element as far as the new council is concerned, because if Prime Minister Modi and Yogi Adityanath are going to be the administrative and political double engine for the BJP, that synergy between Delhi and Lucknow is going to be critical. And if A.K. Sharma is in, then he could well be the pivot between the two cities. What we are also being told that young leaders like Jitin Prasada and others are likely repeated because he was, remember, brought in by the BJP just before the elections and in September last year inducted as a minister, as a Brahmin face for the party. But yes, some sources are also saying there could well be some exclusions which may indicate that the BJP is looking forward to creating a new council for new synergy.
Right. Rahul, speaking of exclusions, you know, that is a very interesting point and a big breaking news that you're telling us. It's possible that A.K. Sharma, Modi loyalist, former Gujarat cadre bureaucrat turned MLC turned UP BJP Vice President, could be inducted into the new Yogi cabinet as a Deputy Chief Minister, making, in fact, it's possible that Keshav Maurya stays and Dinesh Sharma, I beg your pardon, will be making way for A.K. Sharma. So, Dinesh Sharma, what happens to him and why is he possibly being dropped? Rahul, what are your sources telling you?
You see, Dr. Dinesh Sharma, when he was brought in, was known to be somebody who is a non-controversial, non-confrontationist and non-polarized kind of a leader. He was not somebody who upsets political equations or has interpersonal problems. I've known A.K. Sharma for a very long time. He used to be the mayor of Lucknow when Atal Bihari Vajpayee was a member of parliament from that city. And he is a low-profile leader. But if the BJP has to send out a political signal, then each seat matters this time around, because the BJP is not fighting this election, is not just celebrating, it's actually preparing for 2024 and the next elections for UP in 27, and that is why each seat is critical. So all castes have to be addressed, and this time around, if you see the result, the BJP's success, though it lost a lot number of seats, is largely can be attributed to a large number of non-Yadav OBC, non-Jatav SC votes, which have become a slightly more stabilized constituency of voters with the BJP. I think that segment needs to be rewarded, and the BJP will like to send out. Say, for example, this time around, the BJP's emphasis also on the women voters. The women voted for the BJP much more, 16% more than the Samajwadi Party. So if there are 47 women MLAs this time around, 29 of them are from the BJP. There could well be more women this time around in the Council of Ministers for Yogi, because remember, this is the highest number of women MLAs ever in UP Assembly. So what one can say is that inclusions, exclusions will be a very delicate caste balancing act. But if there is caste and community balancing, there is A.K. Sharma's inclusion is an administrative balancing which will be done by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Amit Shah and JP Nadda, the BJP president.
Right. Rahul and Samar, thank you so much for bringing us all of those details. So it's interesting to see who all are in fact entering the Chief Minister's residence right now.